Is it 15 or start with 16? But I might have an old agenda. It has 14. The last one is 21-47.
No, that's probably me. It probably is 15.
Okay, so 15, 16, 17, 18. 15
Yes.
associate judge, 16 associate judge, 17 legal services for child support, and 18 chief judge.
Yes.
Okay. Brian?
Yes, Madam Chair, I emailed a Word document to the council members earlier today. Basically what it is an executive summary of my participation with the Ho-Chunk Board of Directors, information requested.
Okay. I'll put that on the tribal council items number 1. Is there any other additions to the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
We have a motion to approve the agenda from Brian. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second from Louis. Do we have any discussion? Any objections to the motion? Motion carried. 5-0-0. In your packet, council, you will have the minutes from the 12/19/20 CEO report. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Brian. We have a second by Louis approving the 12/9/20 CEO report minutes. Is there any discussion? Any objection to the motion? Motion carried 5-0-0. Our second set of minutes?
Chairwoman,
Yes.
Tori, this is John. I'm on the meeting and I voted yes for the agenda. It's just that my webcam says that it's not a good idea to turn it on. I don't have a good connection right now.
Okay, well, thanks for being with us, John. So the vote for minutes was actually the agenda was 6-0-0 then. Did you vote on the first minutes, John?
Yes.
Okay, so that's also 6-0-0. Okay, so that our second minutes are the December 11th regular tribal council minutes. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Louis. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Brian. Is there any discussion? Any objection to the motion? With no objection, 6-0-0. Motion carried. That brings us to the ratification of the 5 signature items. We have quite a few 5 signature ratifications, and that was due to our tribal council meeting being postponed out of respect for the relatives. And so for that reason, you'll see quite a few on here. The first one is adopt resolution 21-35, no kid hungry. And just for the membership's benefit, I'm just going to briefly so the 21 dash in here. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm just looking for 21-35 and I'm not seeing it.
Tori,
Yeah.
it's it was a grant written submitted by Educare. It's an early childhood nutrition, and it was for $25,000. Doesn't require a match.
Okay, thank you, Lorelai.
Yeah.
As I'm fumbling through the packet, is there a motion to ratify? Excuse me, is there a motion to adopt resolution 21-35?
So moved.
We have a motion by Brian. We have a second from Louis. Is there any discussion? Any objections to the motion? Motion carried. The second one is approve one-time assistance for D. Blaine. Is there a motion to adopt that resolution? Okay, that's not a resolution. Is there a motion to ratify that 5 signature.
So moved.
We have a motion by Brian. We have a second by, was that Rona?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
we need to correct the amount.
So, we're now in discussion. The updated amount is, I just sent it. The updated amount is 682.96. Is there any objections to the motion? Carried.
Who made the motion?
We have
I did.
Brian.
And who
That-
seconded?
Rhoda.
Okay. Okay. Sorry.
The third one, we have a ratify 5 signature to adopt resolution 21-36 for the land purchase of Linda Appleton.
Motion to ratify.
Second.
We have a motion to ratify. We have a second from Rona. Resolution 21-36. Is there any discussion? Is there any objections to the motion? Number 4, adopt resolution 21-37, land purchase, Perry Carry On. Motion to ratify.
Motion to ratify.
We have a motion by Brian. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second from Louis. Is there any discussion? Any objection to the motion? Motion carried 0-0. Number 5, adopt resolution 21-38, agricultural lease allotment 3L, the White. Is there a motion to ratify?
Motion to ratify.
We have a motion from Brian. Do we have a second? We have a second from Rona. Is there any discussion? Any objection to the motion? Motion carried 6-0-0. Number 6 is adopt resolution 21-39 agricultural lease allotment 802-214 Thomas Rice Hill. Is there a motion?
Motion to ratify.
We have a motion by Brian to ratify. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Louis to ratify 39 Rice Hill. Is there discussion? Number 7, adopt resolution 21-40 agriculture lease allotment 122L-1 James Horn, allotment 597 Jameson Hawk, allotment 2011 Henry Road. Is there a motion to ratify?
Motion to ratify.
We have a motion by Brian. Was there a second?
Second.
Second by Rona. Ratifying resolution 21-40. Is there any discussion? Any objection to the motion? 6-0-0. Number 8, adopt resolution 21-41 agricultural lease allotment 136L Charles Mix. Is there a motion?
Motion to ratify.
We have a motion by Brian. Do we have a second? Rona. -41. Is there any discussion? The motion. 0-0. Resolution 21-42 agricultural lease 411 Henry Jefferson. Is there a motion?
Motion to ratify.
We have a motion by Brian. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Louis. Is there any discussion? Adopt resolution 21-43 agricultural lease allotment 96 Mary Creek. Is there a motion?
Motion to ratify.
Motion by Brian. Do we have a second?
Second.
A second by Rona. Thank you. Is there any discussion? Any objection to the motion? 600. Number 11, adopt resolution 21-44 agriculture lease, allotment 981 ABC. Is there a motion?
Motion to ratify.
We have a motion by Brian. Do we have a second? We have a second by Rona. Is there any discussion? Or anybody that would like to properly pronounce that? Carried 600. Number 12, adopt resolution 21-41 agriculture lease allotment 956. Don, allotment 957, George Fork.
Motion to ratify.
Motion by Brian.
Second.
We have a second from Louis. 21-45. Is there any discussion? Is there any objections to the motion? Motion carried 600. 13, adopt resolution 21-46 land purchase, Sheila Snow. You're on a roll, Brian.
Motion to ratify.
We have a motion by Brian. We have a second.
Second.
Second by Louis, ratifying 21-45. Is there any discussion?
46.
Well, 46. Is there any objection? Carried 600. Number 14, adopt resolution 21-47 land purchase, Kayleen Brown. Is there
Motion to ratify.
motion by Brian? Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Louis, ratifying 21-47. Is there any discussion? Any objection to the motion? 0. Okay, thank you, council. So, the first two were, first one was a grant, second one was emergency assistance, 3 through 14. Those were from the land meeting, just for the membership's information when we had to, have the land meeting. Our next item is, yes? No problem. Yeah, I could hear that kind of background, but thank you. That brings us to item number 15, associate judge. These were the ones done for the court by 5 signature. And you'll find that. Is there a motion to, is that 48, Lorelei? Does it just go down from there?
Hold on, I got my document here. Where did I put it? I hate myself. I can't find it. It's, yeah, it's 48,
Okay.
Palmer Shrine.
Is there a motion to ratify the associate judge, Palmershine 21-48?
Motion to ratify.
Second.
We have a second by Louis. Is there any discussion?
Are these the regular judges or the Supreme Court judges? I know Clinton and Botsford are on the Supreme Court.
These ones are just associate judges. These ones aren't Supreme Court.
There is one, that's the last one, which is Clinton. He'll be the chief judge. And Botsford is the associate justice. You know what? I had it all in, and now I can't find my paper. Because I know what it is. I got it. I have the resolutions. Resolution 2148 is for Frank Palmersheim, and he'll be an associate justice for the Winnebago Supreme Court.
Okay. We have a motion and we have a second. Is there any further discussion? Is there any objection to the motion? 6-0-0, motion carried. 16, I'm pulling the attachments up. So Lorelai, do you want to just read them off because I don't have them in the right order?
Okay, so resolution, it would be to approve ratify the 5 signature approving resolution 2149. And it's approving James Spotford as a associate justice of the Winnebago Supreme Court.
Motion to ratify.
We have a motion by Brian. Do we have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Louis. Discussion. Any objections to the motion? Motion carried 6-0-0. 17.
So that would be resolution 2150. And it's approving Melissa Osman as an independent contractor to work for the child support enforcement program in the court.
Motion to ratify.
We have a motion by Brian. Do we have a second? We have a second by Rona. Is there an objection? Excuse me, is there any discussion? Objection to the motion. Motion carried 6-0-0. 18, Chief Judge.
That would be resolution 2151. It's approving Robert Clinton as the Chief Justice for the Winnebago Supreme Court.
Motion to ratify.
We have a motion by Brian. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Louis. Discussion. Objection to the motion. With no objections, motion carried 6-0-0. That brings us to number 1 under the tribal council with no new business and no old business. That brings us to our tribal council items and the executive summary. I'll give the floor to Brian.
Thank you, Madam Chair. What each of you have in your email is an executive summary, which is a Word document of my activity with the Ho-Chunk Inc. Board of Directors. This information was requested via email prior to the meeting reschedules, and so here it is of what I've done. I plan on providing this going forward, and so with that request has been satisfied, and at the same time then I return the request from the individual who lodged that. What are you working on?
So thank you, Brian, for sharing this through the email and being responsive to the tribal council's request for information from the Ho-Chunk Inc. Board of Directors. Does the council have any questions on the memo you received? Brian, does this require any action, or do you want this placed? I guess, will this be routine from this point going forward? It's nice to get new information.
No, I don't anticipate any action from it unless there wants to be a general acceptance of it in some way. But at the same time, if we're going to be providing information, which we should be from the activities that we are working on as individual council members, and as a matter of transparency, I have no issue providing that because the people are giving us this responsibility. And then my same question goes back to the individual who requested this. I have now provided what you asked for. My return question is, what are you working on?
Okay. So if anyone wants to respond to Brian, the floor is open.
I have a question on your 6C. What is your employee incentive changes?
That was an update to that policy.
And what was that update?
Administrative and procedural changes.
Thank you. Is there any more discussion or questions on the memo? I think, Brian, you set a really good example by providing this information, and it's been responsive to what the membership have been asking for on the different committees that we sit on, and so thank you for kind of being responsive, I guess I should say, is being responsive to the membership and the council's request. And, you know, this is something that Daphne Evans had particularly asked for by letter last year, and we just never really formalized it. But it could be as simple as this, as writing a memo to the council to share what your last meeting was about. And I think it's helpful to show that this is something we can accomplish, you know, with not so much effort, but at least it's information as we go along and as those meetings take place. So I guess I in some way feel like, you know, I'd like to do something similar. We talked about doing this with trips and things, and my idea a couple years ago was that at every mid-month meeting, we would all have 5 minutes to report out. And maybe it's not in written form, maybe it's just a verbal update, but it's something really that we could strive for in this new year. And thank you for providing that, Brian. Is there any other discussion or input? Hi, Thelma. Please share with us.
Okay, I just want to say thank you for submitting that. And it's good to see that because a lot of times, I guess I don't really see what's going on with HCI until I see it on Facebook after the fact. So I think it's good for the council and the membership to kind of see beforehand and, you know, not to see after. So I say thank you for submitting that to us so that we can see.
Good comment. So that brings us to the end of our agenda. If there's no other business, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Madam Chair, one comment.
Yes.
This is not an agenda item, so therefore there doesn't need to be any action, and discussion is simply a matter of thought process. At some point, I believe that it would behoove the council to have an internal discussion regarding general planning, not in relation to what is occurring under that process with Bluestone, but about what the goals and objectives are long-term in relation to some of the prospects that we have, as well as being able to provide detailed information that, because these meetings are public, meaning Joe Blow, US citizen, can see them. We always want to provide transparency to our membership, and I'm not saying something contrary to that, but we need to be able to have a discussion to where the tribal members can participate if they want to or need to, but definitely where the council members can be given the opportunity to discuss very important matters that are approaching the tribe. And so I'm only throwing that out, Madam Chair, as a suggestion of our opportunity to do that at some point.
I will work with the secretary to identify a date when we can have kind of a sit down and just, I know, people are kind of in every direction. A lot of times, we don't get to sit down and visit in the office if people aren't in the office. So just to touch base outside of the meetings, I think that and especially with some of the pending projects, I think it's a good idea. And thank you for putting that out there. And I will work. And so I don't know if you want a standing meeting or if you want just something that's a special meeting carved out for particular topics, but we can accommodate both of those things.
And I think it's just more of, like what I said, it's a thought process at this point, Madam Chair. I'm not asking for any type of action from any council member, just simply, there are things we need to discuss, things that, of course, the membership needs to be made aware of, and we can do that through the various formats we had at our disposal. But until we can have that type of discussion where we're not giving out trade secrets, so to speak, to the general world, we're basically going to be at a little bit of a standstill. And the whole point, I think, is what you already described, Madam Chair. And so with that, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
You're on mute, Lorelei. We have a motion. You're on mute, Lorelei.
Oh, I just wanted to bring this up because I brought it up to Chairwoman Kitchian, and it was a suggestion from our communications director, because he hears so much from the membership. They want more information, so he tries to get them out into the social media. And his suggestion was that our tribal council, we could do a annual state of the tribe report to the membership. And I thought that was pretty good, coming from a young man of our community. And I have brought this up, and I think that's where really, we're little bits of information on what the tribe is moving towards and how we are planning to get there. So just like the President of the United States gives a State of the Union once a year, it would be good if our tribal council gave a State of the Tribe once a year, and we set it as a formal date, so the membership can know everything that's going on. Thank you.
Thank you,
I
Lorelei.
love that idea.
There's
I
a
love it.
motion there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I love that idea. Let's do it.
Is there a second? Okay. Discussion. Just to continue this discussion, Lorelei had mentioned this before, and they've been talking about some really good things with Garen on how we can improve communication. Other thing we talked about is doing like a weekly, like a blurb at the end of the week, or a weekly, just something that would enhance communication and that tribal members would hear about things in real time rather than when the minutes came out. So all those things are on the table, and that encouragement to do a state of the tribe address, I think it's very timely with everything that's happening. So I'm open to it, and we can build that document or that address as a council, and I'll start kind of putting an outline together so that we can think about what we want to have in that. Is there any other discussion before we close this meeting? Dalma, did you have your hand up? I thought I saw your hand up. No? Oh, second. Okay.
State of
so
the nation.
Okay, so we have a
Who made the
motion,
motion and who seconded?
I made
we had
it.
a motion by Brian, and we had the second by Louis. Is there any further discussion? Any objection to the motion? We are adjourned. Thank you, council. 6:00.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. Have a good day. And council, stand by tomorrow on your email. We're still going to meet, and we'll see what this weather does. And Esther was already preparing some of the departments to be closed tomorrow if that's so what happens. So just watch for those emails, and we'll keep you posted. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
so what happened. So just watch for those emails and we'll keep you posted. Have a good evening.
Thank you.